Are you thinking of lightening your hair? Wait, let's talk about this first. To be honest, guys, there's not a lot of videos out there catering towards clients who are actually wondering what it's like to be a blonde, or even someone who's wondering the process of what it takes to become a blonde. So today I am going to be making this video consultation so we can skip the paragraphs upon paragraphs upon paragraphs. I find myself always repeating everything I'm going to say in this video to all of my new clients. 90% of my clients are actually on this journey, the healthy way to achieve blonde and healthy hair. Or we are currently at this first stage where we're doing the consultation and you're wondering what it actually takes in order to get blonde. So the first thing I want to say to any of you guys out there that is actually considering going blonde or just lightening the hair, please be patient. I always tell my clients no color, and I mean no color, looks good on damaged hair. Everything that you guys are showing us are always on healthy hair. So if you guys look back to maybe the times that you guys have shown any inspired colors, think about it. You are showing us all the ones that have long, luscious, shiny, beautiful hair. Now, when I say to my clients, are you willing to take this journey with me? Because I'm not going to just slap on a color for you and call it a day. I am actually going to try to repair along the process that we are lightening the hair to try to actually keep the integrity and the health intact. Now, as a stylist, our biggest goal is not only to achieve your color, but to try to make sure you have the healthiest hair possible. So if you're thinking, you know what, I don't really care, I'm just gonna go into a salon right now, I want it today, today is the only day I am going to make myself a blonde. And I'm sure someone is willing to take you and actually do a service on you. And depending on the condition of your hair, a couple weeks from now, I could guarantee you, you'll stop looking at the color and you'll start looking at the health of your hair. Only to probably most likely go back to becoming a brunette because you're realizing my hair is so dry, my hair is breaking off, the color is totally rinsing out, it does not look good anymore. Who else has covered up their damage from putting an all over color back on top just to try to make it look not as damaged? I know I have. 100%. We could get you there in all one piece if you are patient. And the reason why I say this, because I'm going to go through all the sessions and why it takes so many sessions to do this. Now, the second thing I do want to mention is everyone's hair is different. We see lots of hair every single day, and then every single week, and every single month, and all the time. Now, when we ask you, do you have virgin hair? The reason why we say this, guys, is because it plays a huge role in our application. It truly does. If you don't know what virgin hair means, it basically means you have absolutely no color on your hair. When you have virgin hair, you actually have a clean slate, which means we are able to predict what is going to happen to your hair. Even if you are, let's say, a level 4, you're someone that has dark brown hair. If you have virgin hair, I can guarantee I know what I'm going to see as soon as I put lightener on there. Now, this is very different when it comes to previously colored hair. I am going to be using these terms, brown, medium brown, because not everyone understands levels of the hair. That's something I'll talk about next time. But what I do want to mention again, if you are putting a medium brown back on top of your medium brown, you ironically have deposited more reds and blues into the hair, which means that is colored hair. Now it's even 10 times harder to get that color out once we try to lighten your hair. It is just not going to happen. It's just no. If you don't have virgin hair, please be honest, because we'll know in the first 5 minutes. Trust me, we will, because we can see if you're lightening up or not. Like, you can't hide it from us, okay? So we will know if you have virgin hair or not. Just be honest. Just be honest with us, okay? It saves everyone a lot of time and a lot of, oh my God, what is this? So just let us know. The next thing you're probably wondering is, why can't I become blonde in one session? Why not? And I'm going to tell you guys why, okay? Because I got my color swatches here. So I'm going to honestly go right into it, because you guys really need to understand the levels of the hair. This is very soft hair. So let's just say, for example, you're like a level 4, okay? You're like a medium brown and you're thinking of going to like a level 8, right? So, 4 going to 8. I always bring this out to my clients because I try to get them to understand in a more visual way. So when you are trying to go to a level 8, but you are starting off right here, you're jumping each of these shades. So let's just say when you're jumping from 4 to 5, and then 5 to 6, 6 to 7, 7 to 8. So of course, if you want to get to a level 6, you're gonna go 2 times to achieve your little light brown if you want to go there right there, okay? And if you want to go to a blonde, really blonde, imagine all the sessions you have to take in order to get there. And again, this is the healthy way. You 100% could get there if you want to, but one thing has to give and take, and that is the integrity of your hair. So you are going to be compromising the health and integrity of the hair when you decide to go in one go. If you do not have health, you will not have the color of the hair, because the color of the hair is going to last you that day when you leave the salon, and then tomorrow when you go and wash it out, it will look completely different, because the color is falling out of the hair so much faster when it is compromised. So always try to remember that the healthier the hair, the longer the color will last. Now, the reason why my consultations are a little bit longer than most is because I try to actually help my clients understand color and understand what is actually happening to the hair, because then they can better prepare for the results 2 to 3 months later when the toner is completely rinsed out and they're wondering why the hair looks yellow. But if I gave them all the information, they know exactly what to expect, when to call, and exactly what to do. Now, I'm going to try to do it as easy as possible so we can understand it together, okay? So I'm going to bring out my little color swatch again. Just try to find your shade, okay? And the darker you are, the more, so you know how this has a little bit of blue. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's blue in here, because the darker the hair is, that means you hold a lot more blues in the hair, right? So sometimes you look at black hair and you think, ooh, you kind of have like a little tinge of blue in there, because they do, okay? I feel like I'm really passionate about this, because I just, when I talk about color, I really am trying to help you guys understand, because I do this with my own clients. I'm like, please, if you don't understand something, ask me, because I want you to understand color theory, so then we don't run into any problems, okay? So when I'm talking about the colors here, try to find your shade. I keep liking to do this because it's really fun. It's like super soft. But anyways, so when you are trying to think of your shade, look at the color that you feel you're the closest to, right? So I am a level 3 naturally. So when I'm a level 3, the hair is made up of blue, red, and yellows, okay? And the darker the hair is, the more blues and reds you have, and the lighter your hair is, the less blue and the less reds you have here, okay? So since I am a level 3, naturally, I hold a lot of reds, okay? So we got the red going there. So this is the underlying pigment. So let's just say, for example, I decide to put a very low lightener bleach on my hair. I'm going to expose the red immediately. It's just going to come right through. If you are in the medium brown range, you are going to be holding a lot of oranges, okay? So this is the first color to be exposed as soon as we put lightener on top. So with me, I had red, and now anyone with medium brown is going to hold a lot of oranges, okay? Now, if you are naturally a dark blonde or blonde, you hold a lot of yellows, okay? So you're going to have lots of yellows coming through. I want to use a visual representation of this whole thing, because maybe it's a little bit easier for you guys to understand. We're going to do painting class, okay? We're going to do like a nice canvas painting class. I give you red paint. So you hold the red paint on your lap.
Okay, Rosie, I am going to give you some yellows and oranges, okay? So you're gonna mix that.
A little bit of yellow added into your red, you're gonna now have orange. We are slowly going away from the reds. Now let's add a little bit more of that yellow. As you can tell, red, you add a little bit of yellow and white, it's gonna turn orange. Orange, you add a little bit of yellow and white, it's going to start to go light orange or more of a yellow. And now when you're at the yellow stage, we're going to add a little bit of the white, and that's going to become a pale yellow. This is all true when it comes to hair color and theory. It's very much the same as hair painting. Sorry, not hair painting, but painting in general. If you add a little bit drops into your red paint, it's going to change it. And if you add a little bit of white into there, it's going to lighten it up. Imagine your yellow and white paint is basically the same as lightener. Lightener comes in blue or purple or white powder. That is actually going to mix into what you have underneath your hair, right? So you have lots of reds. It's going to get lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter. That's why it takes so many sessions, because the first time I give you yellow, you're not going to get the immediate blonde right away. It's going to only start to lighten up slowly with time. And if you got really good hair and you got virgin hair, most likely, girl, we gonna get you to a yellow right away, okay? If you're working with virgin hair, we usually can predict that it's gonna lift right to a yellow, which is great. That's what we want. So now that we have that, right? So we're starting to understand color just a little bit more, right? So if you're on the level 4 range, dark brown, and you wanna go to a blonde, we must cut through red, orange, yellow, pale yellow to get you there. And even saying that 4 times means 4 sessions just to get there. Now, I do want to talk about counteraction, guys. So this is another big thing when it comes to being a blonde. Basically, what ash blonde means is there's a lot of blue in there, so you could get that cool tone, right? Because blue is cool tones. So if you want something on the warmer side, we're going to be adding golds into there. So lots more yellows or coppers to make you brighter and just a lot more gold, I guess. So let's just say you're thinking of going to a blonde and you want to become an ash now, because this is the next thing that we must talk about when you decide on lightening your hair. Do you want to be ashy or do you want the warm tones? And what do you like? What do you like? When you decide to do that, the reason why this is a huge thing that gets very confusing sometimes to my clients is this. In order for us to actually have an ash level 6, we must get you to a level 8, and I'll explain this. We must get you to a level 8 in order for the ash to show. So let's just give you an example again. If you were a level 6, right, you're gonna again be pulling a lot of the oranges there, right? So let's just say you're a level 6, you have lots of orange in your hair. If I were to use a level 6 ash, which is basically a level 6 blue, all it's going to do is counteract the orange that you have, which means both of those colors are now canceled out, which means you only get left with a natural 6. The true level 6 ash, if I just counteracted that, is actually going to look more like a level 5 ash. Because remember, guys, ash is depth and it deepens the hair. It gets rid of any of the brightness. It gets rid of golds. So I always like to tell my clients, if you want ashy tones, you're going to look a shade darker. So always keep that in mind when you decide to go ash. Even on the lighter scales, you're going to look always a shade darker than the one that you're at right then. So let's just say for level 6, you hold a lot of oranges, you want to be ashy, it's going to tone you down to level 5 ash. And then you're going to think, nothing changed with my hair, and why am I darker? Because we've added depth into your hair. So now the reason why I said we want to get you to level 8 is this. Once we get you to a level 8, so you're at a level 6 right there. You are copper, let's say, underneath. If I could get you to level 8 and you have lots of yellows under there, now I could actually tone you all the way down to your level 6 with an ash, because we're not counteracting right here. There's no oranges, so we're not using the counteraction of the blue to get rid of the ashes. We're only actually using it to expose that color. So I could still use a level 6 ash, but since there's no oranges, you are actually going to look like a level 6 ash. So I know that could get a little bit confusing for you guys, but I do hope that it is something that you're starting to understand just a little bit. That's basically it, guys. If you want to be an ash color, always try to get a shade or 2 lighter, and then it'll show the true tone of what you really want and what color that you actually want. So when we tell you, you know, I do need to lift you up brighter, because if I'm only staying in this range, I'm only going to be using it to counteract the orange. Now we need to get lighter in order to be able to use it as a true ash tone. So hopefully that helps you guys. I know it gets really confusing, but that's the best way I could describe it. I do want to mention this before we go, that anytime I do a color service on my clients, I always like to tell them 2 to 3 months from now, you're going to start noticing that you're going to get lighter but brassier. Always prepare them for that, because that is the true underlying pigment that they're going to be left with as soon as all the toners are washed out. So I hope you guys learned a lot about the lightening process and ash versus gold, and even maybe levels, something that you guys didn't know, but that's the language that we hairstylists speak in the salon. So if you guys enjoyed this video and learned tons from it, which is my goal for this video, make sure you hit my subscribe button and follow me on my Facebook and Instagram page, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.